All right, guys, we're gonna go two questions max here for Coach. So we'll start with Ron, and then we'll go BJ and Jay.
Hey, Coach, I know things didn't go the way you turned out, but I want to start with that big interception right off the bat. I mean, you're someone who has some experience with game-changing interceptions. What did you see on that play, and how huge was that momentum-wise?
Yeah, there's no question. I think a lot of people that have played against Coach Malzahn understand and know that first script is going to be very difficult to handle. And they obviously drove down the field, and Dylan was on a zone read with a throw option, and he decided to pull it and was running, and LaBeouf came off, and he was in between his man and Dylan, and Dylan decided to throw it. He jumped back in the lane. It was unbelievable. Not only that, but the effort that the defense gave on the return side of that to be able to take it across the field. Huge momentum to start, gave us a boost. That was a big time play, and we just needed more of those. You know, we lost the middle eight, and that's where the swing happened. We lost the 4 minutes going into halftime, and there's a lot of coachable moments in there, and we already got it's on us as coaches. We'll get that squared away and make sure that we do a much better job winning the last four of the first half, and then coming out of out of halftime there, we didn't do a good job, and so how we adjust and make sure guys understand how to play those situations, we'll do a much better job because the guys have shown that we got some talented guys. We got a good team, and we can grow from this.
Offensively, you guys had some success in the first half, playing fast and going with the passing game. Second half, it seemed like you guys slowed down a little bit. You guys kind of stuck with the running game. And what were your thoughts on the offensive performance tonight, and where do you guys need to get better there?
Yeah, we just got to be able to get in rhythm. You know, we being the first game of the year, just coming out and the defense having to respond. They did a nice job responding and adjusting, obviously, on defense. We got to be able to get the chains moving and create some momentum and get a defense on their heels. And that was working early on in the game. And the defense was having trouble getting lined up. But when you can't move those sticks and the defense doesn't have to, adjust up and down the field, it's not that difficult on them. We just got to be more consistent going in there into in the last 4 minutes of the first half. We had a couple bad snaps that put us behind the chains, before the play even started. And so, you do that on first down, you go in, now you're second and 14, 15. That's a tough position to overcome.
Thanks, Coach.
Andy, late in the first half, you called timeout there with about 45 seconds left. They had 3rd and 11. It looked like you waited a few seconds if you're deciding to call it or not. I'm not sure, but what was kind of the thought process there, obviously trying to get the ball back, and then obviously it backfired a little when they scored there?
Just before the half.
Yeah. It was 3rd and 11, I think, and UCF wasn't really hurrying up to the line. And then you called timeout, I guess, to try to get the ball back, and then they ended up converting with a 30-yard pass right after that, and then scored.
So we called timeout there, just going into the half. They had lined up in a formation that they had lined up in before, and we knew that the play off of their original play was coming. We just wanted to make sure that the defense was squared away, and they lined up with a wide receiver in the backfield and motioned him out. Is that the play you're talking about? And we defended that play, and then they moved the sticks after that. Is that the one you're talking about, BJ?
I believe so. Yeah, it was 45 seconds left. The clock was running, and you called the timeout on 3rd and 11, and then they converted a big play right after that, and then ended up scoring with 6 seconds left.
Right.
Yeah. What'd you think of Hank's performance tonight? Obviously, he was driving you there on that final drive, and then obviously had the ill-advised pass there on the interception. But obviously, he was trying to do everything he could there for you guys. What'd you think of Hank tonight, and then maybe on that last drive?
Yeah, I mean, he battled tough. The last drive, I mean, there's 10 seconds left on the clock. So that's not a favorable situation to be in with no timeouts. Just ran out of time. So, but Hank did a really good job. He, especially early on, he made some big time throws, moved the sticks, and, got the ball to Shaq a couple times there that, Shaq was limited. He was on a rep count in this game. Looking forward to getting Shaq back to 100% next week and being able to get him the football more, because we all saw what he did when he got it.
Go ahead, Jay.
Andy, kind of from the get-go tonight, it was just kind of a weird night. How did you guys handle this weird weather delay that push this game back a couple hours and had you guys basically crowded around a small locker room together?
Yeah, we coming down here, there's obviously the possibility of weather. So making sure we had a plan. If it was half an hour, an hour and a half turns into 2 hours, we had a good plan, and the players were able to, stay relaxed, not overexert themselves. And we brought in some food to feed them, made sure that they had enough to eat when we realized it was going to be, a while before we got the game going. So they responded well. We were able to start fast. Just got to do obviously a better job as we work through and finishing the game.
When it comes to running the ball, it's obviously such an important part of the game. Andrew Van Buren rips off a 22-yard touchdown run, and you guys had a combined 17 yards on the ground the rest of the way. And on the other end, UCF rushed for 255 yards. How much of a struggle was it to run the ball and stop the run this evening?
Well, that was a big part. That was a huge part going into this. Who's going to win the line of scrimmage? And we started to establish the line of scrimmage early, and we lost control of that. And so when you do that, it provides opportunities. Now, you've put yourself behind the chains so many times. Whether you're on offense and you can't run the ball, you put yourself behind the chains. You're on defense, the offense is running the ball. Now it's 2nd and 4. And we've got to keep ourselves out of those situations. We'll go back and we'll analyze the first downs and see where we can improve on our first down efficiency and making sure that we're doing the things both fundamentally and technically to be able to execute the schemes to get ahead of the chains.
Thank you, Andy.
Rachel.
I just ask a personnel question if you are able to update us on George Helani. I know he didn't play tonight. I don't know if he was injured, if it was discipline or
no, he was
any update you can provide us.
It was an injury that he just wasn't ready to go this week. As much as we wanted him to play, he was not ready to go, and we're not going to jeopardize him for the season. Felt good about the other guys being able to step up, and we're excited to get George back next week.
For better or for worse, on social media, Hank is going to be the one that gets a lot of criticism for that last interception. It's always hard to see as a person, but for you as a coach, what do you say to Hank to kind of support him in that moment, knowing that he gets to
yeah, he's an unbelievable competitor. And I know we struggled there, in the third quarter and stuff to get it going, but he held the guys in there and did get us that late score, and we were moving down the field, and he's a competitor. So we can learn from those situations, and he can grow forward, and he's going to do a really, really good job. And the guys believe in him and trust him.
Go to Will.
Hey, Andy, what's the biggest key to bouncing back on yet another short week of prep now?
You know what? There's a lot of things we get to learn from. Actually, I mean, with it being a Thursday going into a Friday game, we've got some time here, especially to analyze coming out of the first game, the operational stuff. Some of the things, for the most part, we were pretty solid. Didn't have a ton of pre-snap penalties, which is always a plus. But again, I mean, we had a couple snaps there we're off mark and installed out drives before they even happened. We got behind the chains defensively. There's some things there situationally that we can as coaches. We'll do a better job of coaching up, make sure that the guys understand so that we're able to leverage formations better and take certain things away.
Thanks, Andy.
And then Lexi, we'll go to you guys to close it out.
Hey, Coach. So being out on that field tonight, surrounded by these players and coaches, what did that experience mean to you?
It's heartbreaking that we didn't finish the game. But the biggest thing for us is we're excited about who we can become and where we can grow from here. And to see the guys, battle through what we did tonight and to fight back there at the end, we can build off of that. And we can we got some really, really good young men on this team and some really good players. And some of them didn't even get to play tonight. So the excitement that comes with how we can keep growing this thing, those are the things that we can take from this game.
Thanks.
Thanks for the time, Andy. Safe travels.
Thanks.